According to my limited knowledge, the promised treasure about which the Prophet peace and blessings of Allah be upon him spoke openly, and for which he mentioned people fighting over it, is the treasure of the Euphrates River only. As for the treasures of the Kaaba, there is a hint that they will be released after the Kaaba is demolished. In addition to this, the war over the treasures of the Euphrates River was a part of the destiny of Allah. May He be glorified and exalted, which destroyed most of the world's population from the east. It is also a preparation for the period of the Mahdi, so that it will be possible for the eastern population from among the Thaifa Manshura to move them towards the west, or towards Leah. Their movement in this period depleted the world's armies, the majority of the forces of Iraq and the Levant. And this was the preparation for gaining victory over the remaining enemy territories one by one. Anyone who pays attention to the wording in the collection of hadiths narrated about the situation at that time should be able to compromise between these many narrations, so as to draw a picture of the character of the age of preparation for the appearance of the Mahdi. Similarly, there is a hint in the hadith from the Prophet peace and blessings of Allah be upon him that it is necessary to help the Black Banner troops coming from Khurasan. There is also a hint that the Califatullah al-Mahdi resides in Khurasan. Perhaps this data is contradicted by the hadiths, which assert that the Mahdi will be in the Arabian Peninsula, and then he will move towards the Levant. This contradiction can be dismissed with the explanation that this statement of the Prophet peace and blessings of Allah be upon him is a metaphor with the object of the allegation removed. That is, there will be helpers of the Califatullah al-Mahdi, there the helpers of the Mahdi's helpers will in fact be helping the Mahdi himself. This kind of metaphor is a method of encouraging courage and eliminating cowardice in helping those who carry the Black Banner. Theta, there is a saying of the Prophet peace and blessings of Allah be upon him about the necessity of going and meeting these banners, even if one has to crawl on snow, ice. This saying of his contains 3 rules. First, the urge to join this army no matter how difficult the conditions. Secondly, perhaps the movement of the Black Banner was initially in the direction of Maghribi and Ilya in winter because of the snow. Thirdly, the call to join the army was addressed to the inhabitants of the winter countries, from among the people of the mountain ranges in northern Khurasan, and other areas close to the location of the army. So we get a picture of the period of the Mahdi's rule, after the immersion that took place in the Arabian Peninsula. The righteous people from among the people of Iraq, Sham and other countries joined the army of the Mahdi in Mecca, which began to move towards the direction of Sham. At the same time, the movement of troops from the east, that is, from among the Black Banner troops, began, and Muslims from the Ajam non-Arabic region and the inhabitants of the northern regions began to move towards Sham and Ilya. Eventually, these 2 large waves of Muslim troops met at Damascus, where the Muslims took refuge in the battles that followed, as will be explained later. Summary of signs. Introduction. It is clear from the foregoing that there are many human and natural factors that influence each other leading up to the appearance of the Mahdi. There was the dark fitna du Haima which overtook the earth and resulted in the prevalence of injustice. There is also the uncovering of the Euphrates River, so that a mountain of gold comes out of it, to complete one of the factors of destruction, because of the many people who indulge in lust. This event was also in preparation for the emptying of the eastern region, because it was from this region that a part of the Thaifa Manshura would emerge. There is also the factor of the hard work of the scholars and others from among the Thaifa Manshura, who will be able to support the Mahdi by recognizing his attributes and pledging allegiance to him. All this indicates the preliminary preparation of the Thaifa Manshura, both scientifically and psychologically, to carry out the important and major task at the end of time of restoring justice on earth and realizing the message of Islam in all the lands inhabited by humanity. There are also major natural events that prepare for the appearance of the Mahdi and prepare suitable conditions for his followers to be able to carry the burden of the message. There is also the urgent need for many people to save themselves from the tyranny they are experiencing, and to be prepared to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to spread the truth on earth. In addition, there are also heavenly signs, such as the one told by the son of Hybril Umit, such as the immolation of an army that is about to attack the Mahdi. This sign resembles the evidence that shows the correctness of the leadership priesthood of al-Mahdi. Of course, the need for these signs to appear is urgent, especially for the Manshura Thaifa, because that period was preceded by many people claiming to be the Mahdi, which of course resulted in many doubts arising. So these signs became one of the manifestations of Allah's compassion for this ummah. With it, the preparation of this ummah to take up the message was completed. That is why it is recommended that these major events be clear signs and indications that strengthen and confirm the truth of the leadership imamate of al-Mahdi. This is the essence of the Prophet's words. Samuel told the children of Israel about the righteousness of Saul. Indeed, one sign that Saul will be king is the return of the ark to you, in which is the peace of your Rabb, and the remnant of the family of Moses and the family of Aaron. The ark was carried by an angel. Al-Baqarah 2, 248. This ummah at the end of time is in more need than the children of Israel of signs that will assure their hearts of peace and tranquility in the light of the truth of the imamate of the Mahdi. The Mahdi's coronation and the drowning of his pursuers. Isha radiyallahu anha reported, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would shake his body during his sleep. We asked, O Messenger of Allah, why do you do something in your sleep that you have never done before? He replied, it is a wonder why you do it. He replied, it is astonishing that a number of people from among my ummah went to the house of Allah with a Quraysh man. And the man had taken refuge in the house of Allah, until when they were in the Sahara, they were buried in the earth. We asked, O Messenger of Allah, did the group include many people? He replied, yes. Some of them intended to go to the house of Allah. Some of them were forced to go, and some of them ran out of provisions on the way. They were all destroyed at once, but as they emerged from different places, Allah resurrected them according to their intentions. Our Muslim, Al-Fitan wa Asarath as Sa, Hadith No. 2884. Foreign vocabulary. Al-Mustabsir, he is the one who knows the matter clearly that is fighting the Kaaba, and all those who are there, the one who intends to do so deliberately. The one who was forced to go with the army. Al-Mujbir, a man who was traveling in Allah, may he be glorified and exalted, met and joined the army when it was buried in the ground, even though he was not originally part of the army. Ubaydillah ibn al-Kibthiyah reported, Al-Harith ibn Abi Rabi'ah, Abdullah ibn Shafwan, and I went with them to Salama, may Allah be pleased with her. And they asked her about the army that was buried in the earth, which was during the reign of Ibn Zubayr. Salama said, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, a man took refuge in the house of Allah, so an army was sent to him. When they were in the desert from one region, they were buried in the ground. I asked, O Messenger of Allah, what about the one who is forced to join the army? The Messenger of Allah replied, he will be buried with them, but on the day of judgment he will be resurrected based on his intentions. Abu Jafar said, it is the desert of Madin. Rawi said, I met Abu Jafar, then I said, verily Salama only said, the Sahara desert of this region. Abu Jafar said, never, by Allah, it is the desert of Madina. Al-Fitan, Hadith, No. 2882. Hafsha reported that she heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, say, there will indeed come to this house of Allah an army fighting against it. Until when they are in the desert of this earth, their middle army is immersed. The first army of them calls out to the last army of them, then they are all immersed. And nothing remains except the one who was expelled, who gives news of them. Muslim, Al-Fitan, Hadith, No. 2883. In another narration, I will take refuge in this house, which is Kaboa. People who have no ability to prevent, are not many in number. and have no weapons. 6 hour. Muslim, Shabi, Muslim, Book of Al-Fitan, Hadith No. 2883 Al-Muslim. Salama radiyallahu anha reported, one day when the Messenger of Allah peace and blessings be upon him, was lying down in my house. He suddenly sat down on his knees and said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un isturjit. I said, indeed, what happened to you, O Messenger of Allah? That you said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. He replied, a group from my ummah. They came from the direction of the Levant. They headed towards the house of Allah to fight a man whom Allah protected from them. When they came to the desert from Dul Hulayfa, they were all buried in the ground, while their places of origin were different. Ahmad, Baki Musnad al-Anshar, Hadith No. 26746. Salama, may Allah be pleased with her, the wife of the Prophet peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, a dispute arose after the death of a caliph. And a man from among the people of Medina fled to Mecca. Then the people from among the people of Mecca came to him and drove him away. But he did not like it. So they pledged allegiance to him between the pillars corners of the Kaaba and Maqam al-Ibrahim. An army was sent to him from the people of Sham. Then they were immersed in the desert that lies between Mecca and Medina. When the people saw that, there came to him successors from the Levant and selected men from among the people of Iraq. Then they pledged allegiance to him between the pillars of the Kaaba and Maqam al-Ibrahim. Then there appeared a man from Quraysh whose uncles, his mother's brothers, were from the Banu Kalb. So he sent an army to attack those who were pledging allegiance to Al-Mahdi. And those who pledged allegiance to Al-Mahdi defeated them. That was the army of the Banu Kalb. It was a loss for those who did not share in the booty of the Banu Kalb. So Al-Mahdi distributed the wealth. He practiced among his followers the sunnah of their prophet. Islam established its decree and was steadfast on earth. Then Al-Mahdi stayed for 7 years. Then he died, and the Muslims prayed over his corpse. Abu Dawud, Al-Mahdi, Hadith No. 4366. Ahmad, Baki Musnad al-Anshar, Hadith No. 26745. Al-Hakim, Al-Fitan, with 2 sanads. Hadith No. 8323 and 8324. He suppressed one of these 2 sanads, but authenticated the other. Al-Mustadrak 4478. From Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiya, who said, we were with Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, when someone asked him about the Mahdi, and Ali said, how far away? Then he made a circle with his hand 7 times. He said, that is the Mahdi who will come out at the end of time. The sign will be when someone says, Allah, Allah, he is killed. Then Allah, may he be glorified and exalted, will bring together for him a people who will move together like a cloud.